Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And like for the last couple days I haven't gone on a hike because I've been at the ocean. Sorry about that. And I needed to get out tonight and to make a video, so here I am. I hope you're getting out in nature and getting some fresh air, get some sun. Of course, depending on where you live, is to make sure you're getting plenty of water, and that's what I know yesterday I didn't quite get enough. So make sure you get enough water, bring enough with you. And I always bring extra with me. I just have to drink it. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. And also, if you want to be and see that change in the world, you can give this video a thumbs up. Plus, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget, you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Whew, I'll tell you, I'm out of breath. And I will ring the notification bell. You can push the button. That way you do not miss any videos. And you could share these videos. Starlight loves to share. And I do this all the time. I'm sharing with you. So you could share with me by sharing these videos to other people on social media or wherever. And also, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So here we are. And Starlight didn't have a whole lot of time as far as looking for a hiking place, so I don't really know how this place is gonna be. So here we are. So I had a couple topics on my mind as I was coming out here trying to figure out what video I want to make, and I might have to redo the 11/11 video because I apologize, when I was editing it, it actually it picked up a lot of the wind from the ocean where I was recording, so I apologize for that, as I didn't have any more time to remake the video that night, and that was like my third time already actually making that video. And so I really do want to remake that video. That way then it doesn't sound so bad with the background noise with the ocean. So I'm just gonna look up here really quick. I think this is just the restroom area, and if that's the case, I really don't need, I don't know if there's any trails out this way because it is my first time. But anyway, today I really want to reach out to all of you, and this is really important because this happened to Starlight long time ago, and I can't remember the cartoon. When I was growing up, we watched it all the time. I don't know why. My dad could not see very well, when I was a kid, so we were not allowed to touch the TV or the radio all the way up until I got 12 years old. So, we definitely did not touch the radio or the TV growing up. Whatever our parents put on, that's what we all watched, So we used to watch different kind of cartoons and a lot of TV land, old TV shows. And whoops, I got a sneezer coming up. Whew. Whew. So, bless me. Oh, thank you. So anyway, there's this old cartoon. I'm going to have to look it up because I forgot to do that before I started this video. But I was thinking about this because my day yesterday, and this does happen, and it just is funny. I have not really been aware of this until yesterday, and that's why I decided, I needed to make this video. They got campsites out here. So, let's see. I don't know. Hopefully they should have hiking trails out here, but I'm just gonna keep walking this way. It was about a dog, and his job was to watch the sheep that was out in the field, and then there was a wolf that was always trying to get the sheep. And there's times that the wolf would dress up like a sheep, to try to get to those wolves. But the dog was so smart, and always keeping a good eye on the sheep, just like the way Jesus is, always is out to protect the sheep, like it says that Jesus went back to, get there's, I think it's something like the 99 sheep, but there was one that went astray, and Jesus went to go get that lost, and that's what Starlight was, is a lost little sheep, and God did come back and rescue Starlight and got her back, so there are people, and Starlight has ran across this in her past, where there are men and women out there, and I know it just can't be men out there, right guys? Can't be just men, it's got to be women too. So where there are people that, they proclaim that they are sheep, they will, kind of, and Starlight fell for this when I was younger, is I fell for a man that proclaimed that he was a Christian, and where I got deceived. And it's kind of funny, is because what I noticed, just like that cartoon, is they will blend in with all the other sheep, just like that cartoon when I was growing up. They will blend in and make it look like they're a sheep, but they're not. And it says in the Bible about, that there's wolves in sheep's clothing. And I met one of those, a man yesterday, and I was really, if I could say, I was really aggravated about, the rest of the day, but I was so not too aggravated, because I actually am getting smarter and getting wiser about, people out in public, and because God wants me to learn these lessons and see this. This is a dead end here, so I'm just going to go on this walkway anyway. And I know it's going to be sounding probably bad, because I don't want to go on that walkway because the wind, because it's going to mess up the sound on the recording. So yesterday, I went to a park, and I really needed to go there, and I was going to make a video. And this is amazing, because I have that sticker on my car for my YouTube channel. And so yes, like I said in other videos, where I do get, it's an eye grabber, it's a conversation piece, and I love it. I love, that, people notice it, men and women, so it's not just guys, like, hey, there's a pretty girl in that video, I'll just use that, her YouTube channel thing or whatever, and, but some people are really curious about the channel. And I actually have to sort them out when I meet people out in public. Some people are curious about the YouTube channel, and some people will act like the reason why they're reaching out to Starlight is because they're interested in the YouTube channel. And so I do come across those types out there. Now the women, I have to say, when a woman actually asked me about, hey, what is that about? What is your, I see that you're a YouTuber, and what is that about? And normally that's what I get, I can hear that crow in the background. So women it's not like they're trying to get something from Starlight. But now I do have to pick on the men on this one, is because, sometimes that is, like I said, it's a great conversation piece. And then I always, I had a job like this a long time ago. It's kind of funny, I was really young, but I was sorting out lollipops. I had to sort out, look at all these little crabs out here. Starlight doesn't have crabs. I have any. But yeah, this is my second time actually finding crabs out here, out in nature, that is. So, as far as, you know, my YouTube channel goes, is that like I was saying, you got to my old job that I had long time ago, is that I had to sort out the lollipops, and there's a whole bunch of them, and I just had to, my job was to take all the broken ones out, and boy, did Starlight get a lot of lollipops. My kids loved it because all the broken lollipops, they weren't going to sell those, so the people that worked at this place could take those lollipops, that they sorted out. So this is kind of like what I got to do with people, is to sort them out. Okay, the broken, kind of the way I look at it is like toxic energy people and, light people, light beings and or whatever, is to sort them out all the time. And like, okay, is this a dark energy? Is this a vampire out here? Is this a wolf? Like yesterday was definitely a wolf. And so you definitely got to really watch out. And it goes for men and women. I've never done this to men. I'm, real when it comes to relationships. So where this man was so quick, and he pulled right up beside me right when I was getting out of my vehicle. And really what I realized, it was a huge distraction for Starlight. But I was glad that, I realized what was going on. And but it's amazing, within 10 minutes he already brought me around to all the people at the park that he knew, and like showing off. And it was quite rude of him, the things that he was doing, and he was definitely a wolf trying to pretend that he is a sheep out there, like he is like a father figure. And that's exactly how those sheep's and wolves' clothing are, is that they will act like they are like a sheep, and they will even blend right in with those types of people, like Christians. These are the kind that will go to church. You'll even see them doing stuff like the other people do, like at church. And that's what happened to Starlight, is that they might go out and pick up kids for church, but inwardly they are wolves. They're not even sheep. So you really gotta, and that was a video I made not too long ago, is really being careful of the kind of people. Starlight doesn't really want to walk through here. It's kind of all these little crabs. Is you really gotta be careful of the kind of people that you select to have in your life or even associate with. And it took me a little bit, and I noticed something about this character as this man was talking to me last night, and he had like a devilish laugh that was kind of making me feel very uncomfortable. And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why is he laughing? He just kept on laughing and saying stuff out loud, but it was almost like he was talking outwardly to himself, and I was picking up what he was saying. So you definitely got to really be careful of the kind of people that you decide to spend time with. And I spent a few minutes, the way this guy acted is like I was just going to jump in and play this game with him first thing without even knowing him. And he was being very, very deceitful, and being too friendly, and that's what you got to watch out with is, they will play like that. They will play like they're the good guy and that you're safe with them, so you definitely got to watch out for people out there, just like that cartoon when I was growing up, that wolf was always up to something, no good. He was always trying to get those sheep. He wanted those sheep. And this man that I met yesterday, I can't believe it, because he even showed me a picture of Jesus, which isn't really Jesus, because this Jesus was white skin color. And then it was where Jesus was saving a sheep. And then he was claiming that he's like a sheep too, and there was wolves in the background that were trying to get the sheep behind Jesus, but Jesus was grabbing the sheep to protect the sheep from the wolves. And he was claiming that he's a sheep, and I was like, oh my, you're not no sheep. He was definitely up to no good. And it is something, the more you live your life for God, is it says in the Bible, when you really give yourself over to God, you really got to keep your eye open, because there are going to be people out there. It's almost like they hunt you down. So Starlight gets a lot of religious type of people kind of chasing after her, but Starlight is really good. She does not have any desires to go back to church, not at all. So you got to watch out the people that are they just being fake and phony and just pretending, because that's what they are, a wolf in sheep's clothing, that's what they do. They pretend, they act it out, they will just, they study the sheep and see how a sheep will act. And I'm not talking about really, when I say a sheep in these terms, I'm talking about people that are supposed to be like Christians, so they're going to act like they're Christians. So for those of you that have not read your Bible and don't know what a sheep is in the Bible terms, it really means, people that are Christians, real believers, and not ones that are just pretending to be a sheep. And that's exactly what has happened to the churches a lot. Is there's those types that do go into the church, they're welcome to come to church, so, and they will claim that they know Jesus and all that. They do the talk and the walk and all that, but inwardly they are wolves, wearing sheep's clothing. And see, they will be one way at the church building, because that's what Starlight learned a long time ago. They will act like a Christian in front of the pastor and act like a Christian in front of the congregation, but it's when their home is, you can only act like that for so long, and your family members are going to be the ones that are really going to know and see through that shit. They're going to be the ones, because you can't hide it 24/7 of being a fake, or being, just a pretend sheep out there, After a while, you're going to slip up and do some funky stuff, and people are going to notice it and question, why is this person acting and behaving this way? And like I said, it doesn't mean that just men are wolves, because women can be too. Women can pretend to be a sheep, but here they are inwardly, they're a wolf. Sometimes they that's what they will do. They will it's something how they're whatever. A bug landed on me. Is oops, that's a horsefly. We don't want them. I know one of these places they said watch out that those bugs are out here, but and I didn't want to go to that hiking trail. I'm like, I'm good. So you really gotta protect yourself and your family. What kind of people do you have your family around? Your kids, your wife, or your husband? Do you have any people, anybody in your life that's pretending to be, a sheep? Maybe at your church. I don't think very many people on my YouTube channel actually go to church, but maybe you do. Maybe Starlight's doubts there's very many. Yeah, I would be really amazed if there's one church out there that actually gave themselves over to God and has not got corrupted by the people that enter into the churches. I can't say that what I'm saying is true or not, but I would be really shocked. But Starlight still is not interested. Not after my shock treatment. So I'm just going to go out here. So you definitely have to be careful, and that's where, a lot of people, they've found this out when they go to churches, is that, hey, that's where the wolf is going to hang out. He's going to hang out, right along with the sheep, to pretend like they're sheep, sound like a sheep, So you definitely, when I say sound like a sheep, it's not, just in case you're young, because I do got some 18-year-olds on my YouTube channel. It doesn't mean that they're going meh like a sheep. It means that they're talking like a Christian, they're acting like a Christian, but they're not. So that's why you got to really be careful. And this is what happens to a lot of, and it's so sad that this does happen, but this happens to people that run away from their house, when girls and boys, when they run away from home. And a lot of times kids are running away from home because there's some serious shit going on at the house and nobody knows about it, and that's and a lot of times nobody believes the child, because the parents can be very deceitful and, be one way outside the home and be a total different way, inside the house. And, it happens over and over again. And then later on, I've heard stories about a man a long time ago, and I can't even remember the story, but see, nobody believed that this man did whatever he was being accused of. And, it doesn't even matter what the police officer thinks. You think that police officers cannot get deceived? They get deceived because they fell for the same thing, thinking, oh my, like this person, he volunteered his time, and or she, they were volunteering their time out in the community, maybe helping homeless people out. And how do you think they get the information? And I've actually had somebody that worked at a food bank before, and I was safe, nothing happened, but it, they see women or men in a situation, and that's why, if you're ever in these kind of situations, not to just trust everyone that you come across, because, I've known lots of stories when I was younger about a particular man in my past that was into men, and he actually got arrested for, a man came to his, he found a man, and the man, he did this to a lot of young kids and all different age men. And, a lot of times they were getting kicked out. Maybe they had a wife or a girlfriend, or maybe they even were with men. And it is really sad when this stuff happens, but it does happen, where he would be, walking around and always being really friendly to boys and men and all that stuff out in public, and then find out, hey, this man doesn't have a place. Actually maybe a man even could have said, hey, do you got a cigarette? Or and that's how this stuff happens. This is not safe here. Is it can start over a simple, hey, I don't have a cigarette, where people are like, hey, they don't have a cigarette, huh? That means that they don't have any money, they don't have a cigarette, and then later on they find out, hey, like they get to act like they're friends with them and ask them lots of questions, and before you know it, then the guy is inviting them to their home and saying, oh man, you're homeless? Hey, I'll, how many times I've gotten invited at men's houses? I've had men inviting Starlight at their house. I've had a lot of men, since I've been in this situation, invite me in their homes to, hey, get a dinner. Hey, maybe you can come to my house and, freshen up and take a shower. I was almost gonna take a cleaning job a while back, and where I would have had my own room, and I could have, did some cleaning and that's what I wanted, is so I don't feel like I owe anybody anything, is I did want to work for that room, and I said, hey, I can do some cleaning, But, really, my intuition said my intuition, it was way out in the country. Nobody would have even known that I was out there, and then there was another man that was hanging around at this house, that would come and, take a shower too. And, it just didn't sound like a good thing for Starlight, even though I was tempted to, do this to have a bed to lay on, is that's how they pull people in like that, is that they see that you have a need, and that's why it's so important if you're young and you're watching my YouTube, is to, be careful. Like if you can work, maybe they want to help you out. Say, hey, I'll do some work, see if you can do some work. That way, then they can't pressure you into doing stuff that you don't want to do, and you got to really, it's really sick that boys and girls actually have to watch out for that, is that, people will act like they're, like a father figure, or, like a big brother or big sister, and, I would have to say women could actually do this too, but more than likely it would be a guy that would be guilty of trying to lure men in his home than a female, because there are women out there that, like women, so you just have to really, it's best if you can work for something instead of them actually trying to gain something from you, like, trading things like, there, and it's really sad how this happens with men mainly, is, a lot of times, men that are into men, they will, and a lot of men fall for this, whether they admit to it or not, where a man will try to trick another man because he might want to go out with him, might want to have him as a boyfriend, or might want to have sex with him, where, a lot of times they'll try to tell the man or the boy, say, hey, you don't have to do anything. And that's how they trick those men into other things, is because at first it starts out like, hey, you don't even have to do anything. I'll pleasure you. All you gotta do is just enjoy it, And that's how many get suckered in. They're crafty in that way, they just little bit by little. And that's same with that wolf, they'll just like Starlight, when she used to go to church, I used to go and knock on doors, and our whole thing was about knocking on doors. If we could just get our foot in that door, and what does that mean? Our thing was, because I was trained by people, to knock on doors, if I could just get these people at their house to open up their door, that's what we were looking for, is to have them open up the door. And that way, if they opened up the door, and it is really messed up to say this, but if they opened up the door at their house for Starlight to come in because they felt like we were safe, and Starlight was safe, didn't know I was going to a cult church though, is that, it is kind of weird. Once they opened up the door, I hurried up and got my foot right in there. I didn't want them to, I got my foot right in there. I didn't mess around. Bam, there's my foot right in the door. And I got my foot in the door. And so I was trained on how to get people to come out of church. And these people that are out there being wolves in sheep's clothing, Starlight knows some of their little tricks that they do. They try to look for, like as a Christian when I was younger, I was trained to, when you get in their house, quickly look around, and see what kind of stuff they collect in their house, see if they got a pet, People are suckers, when it comes to their pets. Starlight does this in public all the time, is, to make somebody get off their guard a little bit, is if they got a pet, like, hey, I love you got a beautiful dog. And it really does, it takes them, it kind of messes the people up a little bit, where they're like, oh, yeah, I love my dog. And the same thing what Christians do to get their foot in people's houses, to get that door open up is, all these are symbols, door opening up, first it was closed, we had to knock on the door, and then we had to talk to them. We're outside the door, talking to them, trying to get them to open that door. That's the whole thing. We want to get inside the house because then we can observe what they have in their homes to try to act like we're friends to them. So, and that's the same thing the way a predator works, like if you were into deer hunting, bam, oh wow, then you're going to talk about deer. Oh wow, yeah man, I got my hunting license, and yeah, I got a big buck. Starlight never, I went hunting, but I never got any deer or anything. But those are ways that people do. They get their foot in the door and they build your confidence up, and they kind of throw you off a little bit. So Starlight has been trained in the past of how these people work and how they do their stuff to deceive people. And Starlight was only, trying to get people to church because I really thought they were really going to hell. But then it took some time to understand, even after I got out of church, that I was deceived the whole time, that they weren't going to go to hell anyway because Jesus already paid for that. Even all the studying that I did at the church, it's just that I was programmed to believe and think this way that they taught me. And so those are reasons why Starlight does not have any desires to go to church. And there's so many people I've met out in public that they don't want to go to church either. They've gotten a taste of what they've seen out there. So anyway, beep, whew, I just got freshened up, and it's kind of hard at this time. I have to slow down. I can't do any workouts or anything like this right now. So I am sweating already right here, even though I already cooled down and got cleaned up. Is really watch out. I've had people even on the internet, being proclaiming that they were sheep and they were wolves, and you put your wall down, and you like, this man didn't even know me yesterday, and he was trying to make me feel good, but he wasn't doing a really good job. I kind of got him off guard a little bit because I did let him know I have a YouTube channel, and I had some videos about cult churches, and it was amazing how he responded to that, because I'm thinking, man, if you are an honest person, claiming that you know God, and more than likely this man was going to church, if you ain't got nothing to hide, and you heard that Starlight is out there making videos to warn people about cult churches, my response would have been thinking, wow, Starlight, that's great. But that's not the response that I got from this man. He didn't like when he heard Starlight saying that I'm warning people about cult churches, because he mentioned that he preaches and stuff to people. And I learned really quick how he was twisting words and doing different things. And that's what you got to watch out for, is that's what they do, is they twist words around. And, he was trying to twist things around with me, where, trying to be funny, playing head games with Starlight. And I am so grateful for the universe, because the angels in the universe let me know, hey, Starlight, that's a wolf. That wolf just gave you a hug, and he was just trying to pull me in, and he was trying to show other people how much power he has, because within 10 minutes he already got me to take a picture with him and his grandkids. That is how crafty they are, is to pull you in and make you think that, hey, I love you, I care about you. But he was playing some funky games, and he actually had people, like, he found out, he asked me where I was living, where I was staying, because I told him I'm on a mission for God. And he's like, oh, so where are you staying? So when I told him that I was living in my car, then later on he introduced me to his son and his grandkids and some other people, and said, hey, he's like, tell him where you're living. And it's like, why are you, that is how a couple old pastors were, is they like to humiliate people in front of everybody else like an audience. And that's exactly what this man was doing. So you got to watch out for churches like that when they will use the congregation as an audience, and they will try to say embarrassing things or personal stuff right out in front of everybody, and not even care about your, that's nothing that, a man should have been like telling, hey, yeah, tell them where you live, it's none of your business where I live, So you got to watch out for people like that, is when they find things and they don't quite understand what's going on, and they just try to embarrass you and make you feel bad about yourself. And Starlight said, you know what? I'm going to get the blank out of here, because I see, you're a wolf, so you do. If you realize that you're, spending time with a wolf, run, get out of there. You don't need to spend or waste any of your time with those kind of people. And anyway, I do love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you could also, hang on, push the notification bell. That way you do not miss any videos. You can also share these videos. That way, if you know somebody that they could be around bad company, people that are up to no good, is to let them know. Especially, it doesn't even matter what age, because anybody, it doesn't even matter if you're 18 or 50, anybody could fall for these little tricks that they have out there in church or out of church. So really keep yourself safe, but don't build a wall up so bad that nobody can even help you out when you need it. So I love you so much. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you so much, and this is Starlight. Starlight, love, light, and peace.